it's me, Jay.
And me, Sean.
And we're back again with another movie review. This time it's for the Ben Affleck movie, The Way Back, that is just now able to be rented on VOD. So, is it worth the rental price?
Yes, it is.
There you go. You can stop watching now. Please don't. It is kind of a good movie. I think number one for Ben Affleck's performance.
Yes.
So in this movie, he is playing a has-been. And I think it's okay to say that because it was the original title for the movie, The Has-Been. They went with a more optimistic way. They called it The Way Back. Thank you. I was going to forget. You know me. So yeah, he's not so much a has-been, he is just finding the right road, we hope. What's it about? Well, Jack Cunningham, played by Affleck, is having a tough time. He's a middle-aged man who drinks a lot and doesn't take care of himself and doesn't seem to have a lot going on in his life.
By choice, it seems.
Yes, that's right. He certainly has a lot of messages on his old-timey voicemail.
Lots of people are trying to call him.
Yeah, people are checking in on him and he is not responding. He is isolating. And he doesn't even live in the time of COVID-19. It's a self-isolation that he is enjoying alone. Not enjoying. He is mostly in a drunken stupor and not even knowing where he is. So he was a big deal basketball player when he was in high school and he hasn't been a big deal since. I don't really think that says that much about his character, but it's important because a priest from his alma mater, the high school where he attended, which was apparently a Catholic high school, a priest says that they have lost their basketball coach and they would really appreciate having him sub in. He has not coached basketball, only played it, but he finds it really difficult to say no, and he does rehearse several options for saying no. And in the end, he just does it because he can't bring himself to refuse. I imagine it is hard to refuse a priest.
I think so. Well, clearly it is.
Yeah, yes. So this team has not been a good team since he played on it.
And that was in the mid-90s.
Yeah, it is some time ago. Nobody ever even remembers them being a good team. But here's the thing. He's not going to make a great coach.
Not at a Catholic school.
Well, no, not at a Catholic school. Because he swears, he's angry, he's a yeller, he's a tough love kind of coach.
And he's competitive.
He is competitive.
So he doesn't deal really well with losing games.
That's true. It does insult him. He takes it kind of personally.
Yes, he does.
And he wants the players to start taking it more personally, too.
Yes, he does.
He really thinks everybody should feel these losses more than they do. Did you know coaches like this?
Absolutely.
Sean is 6'6", and so he has played some basketball.
Yeah, it's pretty accurate. Mm-hmm. I think this is, obviously Ben Affleck has had to deal with some alcoholism himself in real life, and I felt like that was grounded, but I also felt that the basketball scenes were very believable.
Okay.
That he really does fit in both as a coach and as a guy who you can believe was a dominant player in high school, because he's a big guy. So you just have to believe that he was a good shooter and he would be a force to be reckoned with. Okay.
So you've had coaches like that.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you respond to coaches like that?
I didn't personally.
Yeah, I would hate that. I am about the positive reinforcement. I am not at peace with the young.
It works for some people.
Apparently it does, yeah. But, I mean, you don't get an option with Ben Affleck in this movie. He is that kind of coach. And he's also a drunk. He, has been drinking hard for quite some time. His friends and family are worried about him.
Yeah, they are.
And he is not giving much back to ease the worry. And things are not going better. He actually does turn the team around a little bit. Doesn't make them great, but he makes them, I think, as good as they can be.
Oh, they're a playoff team.
And yet, that doesn't solve all of his personal problems.
Well, it doesn't solve any of them.
No. So I think the movie does well in showing alcoholism in that way. That, you know, it's not a matter of just being happy or of just, you know, not having a reason to drink. A lot of people who have, for example, alcoholism can be in your family, it can be in your genes. And some people will never struggle with it because they never have a sort of triggering event. But this guy has had a triggering event. He dealt with it with alcohol, and now his addiction is pretty rampant. And, you know, we all can nod at each other and say, yes, it's a disease, but I don't think we really have internalized what that means, and that it really is a disease like heart disease or anything else. If you are a diabetic, nobody blames you if you occasionally have, you know, a struggle with your blood sugar, or if you even have a coma, or if you lose a foot. And, you know, that is something that is partially, yes, in your control for diet and exercise and managing your disease, but we don't blame people for slipping up because it is a lifelong thing and it's hard. And if somebody has a second or a third heart attack because they haven't followed all of the doctor's orders exactly, nobody blames them. They should still show up to the hospital and, you know, bring flowers, and, you know, nobody blames relapses in other diseases, and yet alcoholism has not been granted that same sort of respect. So when we say the way back, the way back for an alcoholic or an addict of any kind is never going to be linear. There are going to be ups and downs. And, you know, for a lot of people it takes hitting a bottom, but for, you know, people living comfortably in the middle class, it's a lot more difficult to reach that bottom because you have so many social safety nets. You know, he does still have friends and family who care for him. He has people giving him work even though he doesn't deserve it.
Yep.
You know, there's a lot of support there for him. And
there's an old guy that takes him home from the bar every night.
Yes, every night. And I wanted to know more about who this guy is, who seems to really, he's not even part of the pack of friends.
No, that's the only time we see him.
Yeah.
Is he'll come over when Ben Affleck has had too much and he says it's time to go.
And he drives him
helps
home.
him stagger out of the bar, drives him home, takes him to his door.
Yeah, gets him safely home. I mean, that's a big deal, and we don't even ever see him get a thank you for it. But we all owe him a thank you because he is making sure that this crazy guy stays off the streets.
Yep.
So it's really a sad disease, and there are lots of reasons to have empathy for him, but it is a hard journey. And it's going to be a lifelong commitment. So we know that there is no easy way back for him. Is it a super downer of a movie?
Not
super. You know what? It sounds really dark, and it is partially dark. There are some sad moments in this film as we sort of learn what has gone on in his life that might make many of us turn to something else to make ourselves feel better, or to at least numb the pain.
Yep.
But yeah, he is isolated, and, you know, he wants to shut everyone out, and he is very lucky that people in his life are not taking no for an answer.
He is.
Because it can go a very different way.
Yes, it can, and I think it's important for him as we see him start to get out of his cocoon by coaching this team and then doing other things as well as a follow-up to that. It goes both ways. His friends and family are helping him along that path, but he's also doing stuff for himself to change this pattern that he's in.
Yes, that's right. And like you said, Ben Affleck has struggled with addictions in his own life and continues to. And he has been pretty open about that, both on the press tour for this movie and even before it. A lot of celebrities will just take off some undisclosed time, but he has let us know that that is where he's going, is back to rehab. And in a way that probably helps him stay accountable, because it's not just his friends and family watching, it is all of America watching. But that's a lot of pressure too, and I think sobriety is usually not a straight path. I think relapse is sometimes part of the deal. and it's a hard part of the deal for everyone else to accept. So I think this movie is very straightforward about that kind of stuff. It's not going to mince words about it. I think it's not like a great movie. I think it's sort of doesn't really know if it's like this character portrait drama or if it's a sports movie, and so tonally it shifts around a little bit. So I don't think it had a super strong story structure, but I think for his performance alone, this movie is very interesting.
I agree. Mm-hmm. He is the reason to see this movie. Mm-hmm. It's also, it works as a sports movie. Mm-hmm. It also works as a character study. As you said, it is kind of mixed as to what it ultimately wants to be. I thought the sports scenes were good. Mm-hmm. And also I liked, this is over the course of most of a season, mm-hmm. as Ben Affleck is coaching this team. Mm-hmm. It's not about the individual games, but they'll flash the score up after the game, mm-hmm. to let you know what happened. I thought that was a nice way to do it. Mm-hmm. Of just, we're focusing on what's important coming out of these games as this team mm-hmm. is the underdog who is a bunch of losers who are going to come together. Mm-hmm. It's nothing new in that regard.
No.
But it is nice to see that kind of something different in Ben Affleck. This is not just about basketball,
no.
but it's partially about basketball.
Yes, and after every game they sort of talk about what did we learn from that game, because the games are not just, as you said, individual games, but learning opportunities, which this team badly needs. And they kind of pick out things like respecting the game, or the little things add up. And you can see how that might be a little wink and a nod to real life lessons that it would apply even off the court. This morning when we were going for a shower, Sean asked me, do we have enough soap in there? I said, no, we really could use a fresh bar. And it reminded me of the movie because we see him and he's just got the cake, like the last crumbs of a bar of Irish Spring, and he uses it to wash his hair. And Sean's like, oh, that's when you knew he was like a super alcoholic. I was like, no, that's when I knew he was separated. So I think those are the little things that will add up in his life. Just the little things where he's taking care. Did you buy groceries? Are you even trying to be healthy? Do you have hygiene products in your home? When you're an addict, the only thing you care about is getting your next fix, whatever your drug of choice is. And I think him being able to open up and look a little bit beyond that, was a positive sign for him for being able to find the way back.
Yeah.
So we didn't think it was a worthwhile movie. If it sounds good to you, give it a watch. You can rent it right now. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.